I just got a notification on my phone and I'm panicking. Sarah from the accounting department wants to follow me on Instagram, but I only post photos of my cat and my messy kitchen. Is it weird to say no?
That is the big question of the modern office, Mike. In today's podcast, we are going to show you how to set boundaries at work so you can stay friendly without losing your private life.
I really need to learn that. I'm sitting here wondering, do I click accept or just pretend I didn't see it? The stress is real.
Don't worry, Mike. Today, we are helping you navigate these awkward moments and find the right balance between being a colleague and being a friend. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Context English podcast. I'm Anna.
And I'm Mike, still staring at my phone and feeling very, very confused. Today, we are discussing office friends. We are exploring how to set boundaries at work and whether it's a good idea to be close with your colleagues.
It's a tricky topic because we spend so much time at work. By the end of this episode, you will know exactly how to talk about your work relationships and, most importantly, how to set polite boundaries in English without being rude. You know, Mike, your Instagram problem reminds me of my first real job. I was so young and so excited to make friends. I met a colleague named Julia. She was so funny and had such a loud, happy laugh. We started having lunch together every single day at the small cafe across the street from our office. I can still remember the smell of the roasted coffee and how we would sit by the window and talk.
That sounds like a perfect setup. It is always good to have a lunch buddy to escape the office for an hour.
It was wonderful for the first month. We talked about movies, our favorite travel destinations, our families. I really felt like I had found a best friend at work. It made the mornings easier because I knew I would see her at noon. But slowly, the conversations changed. Julia started telling me secrets about our other colleagues. She would lean in close and whisper, "Did you hear what the manager said to Mark in the meeting?" Or, "I heard a rumor that Susan is looking for a new job."
Oh, I see. You fell into the gossip trap. That is a very dangerous place to be in an office environment.
It really was. Suddenly, our lunches weren't relaxing anymore. They were stressful. Every time she told me a secret, I felt a heavy weight on my shoulders. I was worried that if I shared something personal, Julia would tell everyone else in the department. I stopped talking about my life and just listened to her gossip. But the worst part was the weekends. One Saturday, I was at the park with my dog, just trying to relax. My phone started pinging constantly. It was Julia. She sent me 10 messages about a project and asked me what I thought about our boss's new email.
That is definitely too much. Your weekend was gone.
Exactly. I realized that my work life was everywhere. There was no wall between my job and my private life. I felt trapped because I liked Julia as a person, but I hated the drama. I just didn't know how to set that boundary without being rude. I didn't have the English phrases to say, "I value our friendship, but I really don't want to talk about Susan's salary while I eat my lunch."
It is such a difficult balance, Anna. You want to be friendly because you spend 40 hours a week with these people. You want the office to be a nice place, but you also need to protect your peace and your time.
So where's the line? How can we be a great colleague and a friendly person without losing our private life?
It is such a difficult balance, Anna. But before we look at the vocabulary, I want to share my own experience. It was a much bigger lesson for me about why boundaries are so important. What do you think, Anna?
I definitely want to hear it. Please tell us your story, Mike.
Okay, Anna, your story about Julia is a classic example of the gossip trap. But I have a story that was much more serious for my career. It was a very big lesson for me about why boundaries are so important.
Oh, really? Tell us, Mike. I want to hear how you handled a difficult situation.
Well, a few years ago, I was working in a marketing agency. I became very close friends with a guy named Leo. We were a great team. We went to the gym together every morning, we watched football on weekends, and our families even had dinner together once a month. It was a perfect friendship.
That sounds lovely. It is so nice to have someone you trust completely when you're at the office.
It was wonderful. For a while. But then things changed. I got a promotion. Suddenly, I was the manager of our team. I was Leo's boss.
Oh, wow. That is a very difficult situation. That is the moment when everything in a friendship changes.
Exactly. At first, we thought it would be fine. Leo even said to me, "Mike, this is great. Now my best friend is my manager. Work is going to be so easy." But it wasn't easy. Leo started coming to work 15 or 20 minutes late every day. He stopped finishing his reports on time. When I asked him about a project, he would just laugh and say, "Don't worry about it, buddy. We are friends. I will do it later tonight."
Oh no, he was using your personal friendship to avoid his professional responsibilities. That is so unfair to you. How did you feel?
I felt terrible. I was stressed because my boss was angry with me about our team's deadlines, but I didn't want to be the bad guy. I was afraid that if I was strict at work, I would lose my friend in real life. I didn't sleep for a week. I would sit at my desk looking at Leo's empty chair, feeling so frustrated and angry. I was caught in the middle.
It is a very lonely feeling when you have to choose between your career and your friend. What was the breaking point? When did you realize you had to change something?
It happened on a Friday morning. We had a huge meeting with a new client. Leo was supposed to prepare the final presentation slides. He didn't do it. He walked into the meeting 10 minutes late with a coffee in his hand and whispered to me, "Sorry, Mike, I was watching a movie last night and forgot." I had to apologize to the client in front of everyone. I felt so embarrassed. My face was bright red.
That is a disaster. You are the manager, so it was your responsibility. What did you do after the meeting?
I knew I had to be brave. That evening, I invited Leo to a quiet cafe near the office. Not the gym, not a bar, a neutral, professional feeling place. I was so nervous. My heart was beating fast. I actually had a small piece of paper in my pocket with the phrases I wanted to say so I wouldn't forget them.
That is a great tip for our listeners. Writing down your thoughts helps when you are emotional. So what did you say to him?
I looked him in the eyes and said, "Leo, I value our friendship so much. You are like a brother to me. But when we are at the office, I am your manager. When you are late or when you miss a deadline, it makes my job impossible. I need to keep our professional relationship and our personal friendship separate."
How did he react? Was he angry with you?
At first, he was very quiet. He looked shocked. But then he sighed and said, "You are right, Mike. I am sorry. I was being lazy because I thought I was safe with you. I didn't realize I was hurting your career." We made a deal that day. At the office, we talked about work only. No football talk until after 6 p.m. And if I had to give him feedback about his work, it was about the project, not about him as a person.
That is so impressive, Mike. Did the friendship survive the talk?
It did, but it changed. We aren't as close as we were before, but we are much better colleagues. The office became a productive place again, and I stopped feeling stressed.
That is such an important lesson. You realized that being a good friend sometimes means being a clear professional. Clarity is a form of kindness.
Yes, it is. If you don't set boundaries, you eventually lose both the job and the friend.
I think that leads us perfectly into the phrases we need for these situations. What is the first tool in our office survival toolkit, Mike?
Well, the first phrase is a great way to be friendly without being too intense. It is, "We should grab a coffee sometime."
We should grab a coffee sometime. Let's hear that again.
We should grab a coffee sometime. This is a very casual, low-pressure invitation. Use it when you want to get to know a colleague better. For example, "You seem very busy today, but we should grab a coffee sometime next week."
Phrase number 2 is for when you are at lunch or a party and you want to relax. It is, "Let's not talk about work right now."
Let's not talk about work right now. Once more?
Let's not talk about work right now. This is a polite way to tell a colleague that you need a break from office talk. For example, I know the project is difficult, but let's not talk about work right now. Let's enjoy our lunch.
Phrase number 3 is a power phrase for your boundaries. It is, I prefer to keep my personal life private.
I prefer to keep my personal life private. One more time.
I prefer to keep my personal life private. Use this if someone asks a question that feels too personal or if they find you on social media. For example, I'm sorry, I don't usually add colleagues on Facebook. I prefer to keep my personal life private.
Phrase number 4 is perfect for professional praise. It is, he's a great colleague, or she's a great colleague.
He's a great colleague. Again?
He's a great colleague. This shows you respect someone's work even if you are not best friends. For example, Leo and I don't hang out on weekends anymore, but he's a great colleague and a hard worker.
And finally, phrase number 5. This is for those serious moments, like my talk with Leo. It is, I value our professional relationship.
I value our professional relationship. Let's hear it one last time.
I value our professional relationship. This phrase tells the other person that their work is important to you. For example, we have some disagreements, but I want you to know that I value our professional relationship.
5 essential phrases for the office. Grab a coffee, no work talk right now, keep life private, great colleague, and value our professional relationship. Those are so useful. Now, let's see how these phrases work in a real conversation. Imagine Mike and I are in the office kitchen. We are making tea. Mike is feeling a bit stressed, and he starts talking about office gossip. Listen to how I set a boundary.
Anna, did you see the look on the boss's face this morning? I heard a rumor that he is very angry with the sales team. Someone told me that Mark might lose his job. What do you think?
Oh, Mike, that sounds like a lot of drama for a Monday morning. Honestly, I try to stay away from rumors. Let's not talk about work right now. I just want to finish my tea in peace.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm just a bit stressed. Hey, speaking of peace, I saw your photos from the weekend. You were at that new rock climbing gym, right? I want to go there too. Can I follow you on Instagram to see the address?
Oh, well, actually, Mike, I'm a bit old-fashioned about that. I prefer to keep my personal life private, so I don't really have colleagues on my social media. But I can give you the address of the gym right now. It's on Green Street.
Oh, I understand. No problem at all. That's a good rule to have. Anyway, have you seen Leo today? He helped me so much with my report yesterday.
I haven't seen him yet, but I agree. He's a great colleague. He is always so helpful when the deadline is close.
He really is. You know, Anna, I'm glad we can have these honest conversations. I really value our professional relationship. It makes working here much easier.
I feel the same way, Mike. Now, let's go back to our desks. But hey, you look like you need a real break soon. We should grab a coffee sometime later this week, at the cafe outside, not in the office.
That sounds like a perfect plan. No work talk allowed.
Exactly. Now, let's listen to the key parts again. Let's not talk about work right now. I prefer to keep my personal life private. He's a great colleague.
I value our professional relationship.
We should grab a coffee sometime. Well, Mike, I feel a lot better after this conversation. I used to think that saying no to a colleague was being mean or unfriendly, but now I see that it is actually a form of respect.
Exactly, Anna. You hit the nail on the head. Being friendly is a wonderful thing, but you don't have to be best friends with everyone in the office. It is perfectly okay to have a work self and a private self. In fact, it often makes you a better employee.
We covered a lot today. We learned how to suggest a casual coffee, how to stop work talk during lunch, and how to politely protect our private lives. These phrases are like a toolkit for your professional happiness.
And here's our actionable tip for this week. During your next coffee break or lunch at work, try to talk about something that is not related to the office. Ask about a hobby, a favorite movie, or a weekend plan. It keeps the relationship light and positive, and it helps you avoid that dangerous gossip trap.
I love that. It's a small step, but it makes a big difference. Remember, everyone, navigating office life in a second language is a huge achievement. You should be very proud of yourselves for even trying.
Absolutely. Take it one conversation at a time. You're learning, you're growing, and you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Context English podcast. We really appreciate you spending your time with us today.
We really do. But now we want to hear from you. We have a question. In your country, is it common to be best friends with your colleagues? Or do you prefer to keep your work and your life completely separate? Tell us your thoughts and your stories in the comments below.
We love reading your comments. It makes us feel like we are all one big community of learners. And if you enjoyed this lesson, please give us a like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps other people find our podcast.
Thanks again for listening. We hope your next week at work is productive, friendly, and completely stress-free.
See you in the next video.
Bye for now.
Bye.